Let us squawk about the Super Bowl. Okay, not actually the Super Bowl. I know you guys don't actually care about football that much. We actually did a squawk with Skarm last week about the Super Bowl, and I decided I cut that for YouTube because I wasn't really happy with how that one turned out. But there was something that I think is interesting to my community. Um, and that was that Pokemon did a Super Bowl commercial. And I don't know how many people have actually seen this commercial. I'm going to leave it muted and I'll let it play here in the background. If you want to see it, you could obviously go see it at the Pokemon website or probably search it up on YouTube. I actually didn't even know this when I was watching it because I don't give the slightest of F's about celebrities. I guess that's Lady Gaga. I'm just like, who? Completely forgot Lady Gaga was even a thing. So basically, the Super Bowl commercial, as you could see, they basically asked a bunch of people what their favorite Pokemon was, and they say fans. Fans. I'm not really thinking Lady Gaga is a Pokemon fan. Just a hunch. One guy was an F1 driver. Yeah, I'm not thinking an F1 driver's a Pokemon fan either. So the point of why I'm bringing this up is because I think it actually begs an interesting question. What were they going for with this ad? Because none of this really screams advertising anything except maybe Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Go is kind of... I mean, there's people who obviously still play it, but it's not like it's a hot ticket game anymore. So the point is, and this is the point that I've seen, is that this commercial cost probably more than the entire budget of Pokemon Legends ZA. Because I think people were saying the going rate for a 30-second commercial was 8 million. I've heard roughly in that number. This was a 1-minute commercial, so we're talking 16 million. And that's without taking into account the production costs. And since they got a bunch of celebrities, this commercial was probably running them $1 million per celebrity. Lady Gaga might have cost them a couple million. And I think that's like my really big issue with this commercial is it's not even an interesting commercial for an actual Pokemon fan. And if you're a normie and you saw this commercial, you're 3 beers in, you're eating your pizza and Doritos at your Super Bowl party, and you see this. What is your takeaway? You see the little electric rodent. Actually, I don't even know if Pikachu was in this. You see a little pink blob singing, and you're like, huh? Pokemon Go is old news. Pokemon Go is only useful if you walk a ton, like on a college campus. A long time ago, I went to Hershey Park, and I was with someone when I went there, and they were a Pokemon Go. Like, they were really pretty into it, and almost the entire day they were spending more time playing Pokemon Go than enjoying the amusement park. Now, I guess it's kind of fun because, you know, you stand in lines for rides and it's like, okay, you could do your Pokemon Go while you're waiting in line. I get that, but it also was kind of like, well, I'm here with this person to hang out and they're paying more attention to their phone than me, you know, that sort of thing. I don't know. I just think this was like a very questionable commercial, and this is coming from someone who actually liked Pokemon Legends ZA. And I'm just thinking, like, man, you put an extra 8 million into ZA and you might have actually had a game that everyone would like. And then you build goodwill that way. I don't think this Super Bowl commercial's selling anybody on Pokemon. And I get it, they're trying to kick off their whole 30-year celebration or whatever, but it's like, couldn't you do something a little? I don't know. I just don't get it. And Pokemon isn't actually the only one who had a controversial Super Bowl commercial, and I thought I had a link for it. And now I'm realizing I might have not had my link for it. It's gonna be really odd. Oh, no. I do have my link for it. There was another Super Bowl commercial that was pretty controversial. Now, let me preface, I am a generational Disney hater. But I was once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away a really big Star Wars fan. And Star Wars had a similarly controversial advertisement where their ad was for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and all their advertisement did was basically meme on old beer commercials. And nobody really understood the point of this commercial either, because you got a movie coming out in 3 months, and I don't think anybody understood what you were trying to accomplish with this advertisement either. And it's just like one of those things where we got companies advertising with these insane budgets, and I don't even think people know what they're advertising, which ties into a story I have. So I took a lot of media classes when I was in high school because, I was super skarmery. I was at the height of super skarmery. And I was trying to learn more, which a lot of the times those classes didn't actually teach me a whole lot. But I will never forget, we had an assignment in my Media 1 class where we had to make an advertisement. And my group made an advertisement, and we were all happy about it. And we had to present to the class. Well, not really present, but, we showed our what we put together. And our teacher roasted us. And you know why she roasted us? Because we never actually said what our product was. We just kind of did a cool video, but there was no point where our product was ever actually mentioned in the video. And obviously, the Mandalorian Grogu at least had the name in their ad, but the Pokemon advertisement didn't really. I mean, you got a little blurb at the end, but again, you're 3 beers down eating your pizza and Doritos. Do you really know what's going on in this commercial? A product so good you don't need to mention it? Yes and no. Do you think Star Wars is a good product in its current state? And do you think normies who have been watching the Super Bowl, downing 3 beers, eating pizza and Doritos, knows what the pink singing puffball is? Like, when I say Pokemon to people, the extent of their knowledge is like Pikachu, Like, they know the electric rat, and that's about it. And even if, like, this commercial catches someone's attention, is this making anybody actually want to go, like, play Pokemon? The people who would hear to, like, go do whatever with Pokemon Go, they're probably tapped in enough that this commercial isn't actually doing anything. I don't know. This just seems like a giga waste of money. This is money that could have been spent on something else, and I'm not convinced this was effective. And I mean, the point stands for Star Wars as well. The thing about Super Bowl commercials is that they go as wild as possible because the actual marketing is the talk about it afterwards. And see, I think that's an interesting topic in itself because I feel like Super Bowl commercials have actually become a little too meta. Like everybody's trying to make the most ridiculous commercial that now it's like not actually that interesting anymore. Cuz like I work in an office, I hear a bunch of I'm not saying this to be mean. I don't know how to phrase it in a way that doesn't come off as sounding a little mean, but I work with a bunch of middle-aged old ladies who are effectively normies, right? They aren't the extent that they understand this stuff is from talking to me because I'm into it. And like when they're watching this, I think it goes in one ear and out the other. I don't think they understand what's going on. I mean, the problem isn't that it was $250,000 to $750,000. The problem is this was probably a $16 million ad. This is more than the budget of ZA. And I'm just not really convinced that this is going to catch anybody's attention. I think if you know what Pokemon is, you will be like, ooh, it's Pokemon. And if you don't care about Pokemon, I don't know. The real thing is I'm not necessarily saying advertising is bad. I'm saying I think the budget they spent on this ad was bad when they could have been investing their resources elsewhere. But I mean, you don't have to agree with me. I would love to hear dissenting opinions. I mean, there's a reason companies advertise in the Super Bowl. But I look at what happened with the Pokemon ad, and I look at what happened with the Mandalorian and Grogu ad, and I look at these ads and I think, wow, these were whiffs. These are not selling anyone. And remember, I'm a generational Disney hater. I love hating on Disney Star Wars. So, like, I'm like hoping Disney gets it together. I don't want Star Wars to fail. I would love Star Wars to succeed because I liked Star Wars when I was a kid. So when I see things like this, I'm like, wow, this just perpetuates my belief on why Disney Star Wars is failing. Like this keeps the belief going that Disney has no clue what they're doing. Pokemon wanted to say they had an ad in the Super Bowl this year that turned 30. It's a flex and nothing more. Yeah, and see, that's the problem. You shouldn't be flexing. You should be taking advantage of it. But yeah, I do sometimes think that these companies at the top, they get a little detached from understanding what they're actually trying to accomplish. I mean, look, I have imposter syndrome bigger than anyone. I'm like, ugh, people look at me as super Skarmory, and I'm just like, I don't even remember who that is anymore. So, like, I think sometimes these big wigs at the top of these companies, they might not even really know what they're trying to accomplish either, and then they throw something at the wall thinking it's right, and then they get roasted afterwards, and everyone's like, teehee, you had no clue what you were doing. Disney Star Wars has the issue of management wanting things for marketing and money instead of pushing a good story. You are absolutely right. We could talk about Disney for a long time. I don't want to go down that tangent because this topic will never end if we go down that route. But yeah. Anyways, that's kind of my conclusion on this topic. I hope you guys enjoyed squawking about it. What do you guys think? Let me know. But I'll upload this later to YouTube. I'm curious to know if everyone thinks the way I do or if you disagree. And if you disagree, that's cool too. I mean, I don't know, Pokemon. I don't know, Star Wars. I didn't know.